Hello, hi everyone. Can you hear me well? Yes. Okay, so let's wait. Maybe I see we are already 47 people. Excellent. We have a lot of people. I was not expecting as much people today, but it's good. Welcome everyone. So let me share my screen already. Okay. Okay, welcome everyone. I'm reaching more than 50 people. Just before we start, I just want to be sure then the people are invited to present or here. Wait a second. Yes. I think everyone can speak as well. Yes. So it will be great as well because we are in the group of, normally we have the Adobe Experience Manager user group for the DACH region, for Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. And it will be good if you put in the chat which country you are, because the idea is also to do an in-person event and not only virtual. So depending on the number of people based in Germany, Switzerland, or Australia, for the next Austria, the next time we can think about to have an in-person event in one of these countries. Thank you. Okay, so I think that everyone is there. We can start, and I hope everyone can see my slide. So today, welcome for the building modern headless architecture with AEM. So I'm the host here for the presentation of today, Eric Amiel. So I'm leading this group since maybe now it will be the first year. We already have several groups in the Adobe Experience Manager. And the next one you can also participate is in the 15th of April, and it's virtual as well, hosted by AEM Midwest chapter, and another one the 28th of April, related by the Global DAM Digital. Of course, next summit, for the annual big event of Adobe, which will be in Las Vegas, and and because if you are part of the Adobe user group, you have a code here where you can have $100 off your training seat. So just use this code, the S26PCDP, as a checkout if you have a chance to go there. I was there last year. It was a very amazing event where I learned a lot, discover a lot of partners, and also solution of Adobe, which at the end, when you come back to your office, you have plenty of things to have a look, to enable, and to innovate. Maybe a couple of slides about there is a Let's Talk AI community group. It's an initiative launched as well by Adobe. So it's a cross technology of Adobe, but talking about AI. If you want to join the conversation, you can also have a specific group joining the QR code here or the link, which we'll share after the presentation. You will also have the link where you can go and talk about AI and how to use it in your office. Okay, some, let's say, guiding rules here of the user group. So it's a standard slide you may see again and again in different user group you may attend. The idea is to not have the any self-promotion or pitching any kind of solution, promote anything, to sell anything. The goal is to connect here to share best experience of your solution, especially in Adobe Experience Manager. Please don't try to contact anyone outside this group without the consent. And if you want to share your case to your user group, please don't share any information without their consent. So this is a kind of guiding rules. And another important information to know about these meetings is recorded. And if you don't want to participate to the session, you can, if you don't want to talk, or you just be aware that this is recording, you can always contact through advocacy@adobe.com your concern related to these meetings. But this recording can be accessible after the call in the Adobe user group YouTube channel. Okay. That's it. This is the last slide I will have for today, because today I'm just do the introduction, and this slide I will give the voice to our speaker. So I guess if you are here, it means you already know how to, you have attempted to log in to the event. But please, if you want to attend more module and to be aware, navigate to AEM augs.adobe.com, where you will see other groups, not only the one from DAR, but where you can attend for the next event. So this is, I think, for me, the last slide I will share with you. And now I can give the voice to the speaker of today, which is supported by Cyber64. So do we have Victor and Mattia on the call? You are on mute. But I think Victor is there. Can you speak? Or can you ask to get the presentation? Do anyone can talk in the call? Okay, can you, I guess you can hear me? Okay. I think you can present now. I don't know if it's Victor. You have the presentation mode available?
Hi, thank you. Can you hear us now?
Yes, you can. I can hear you, and you can share. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. My colleague Mattia will share. We were not able to unmute.
Sorry, I just see this on my side. So now it's your turn. Let me know if I have to provide access to anyone else.
Yeah, hello. Sorry, I'll just have to reconnect in order to be able to share the screen. Just a moment. Thanks.
Okay. No worries. If you want, I can already share the first slide I have, and Victor, you can maybe start.
Yeah, let's wait for Mattia because we changed the slides a little bit.
Okay.
But I think you will be soon here. It's probably about the permissions. I'm also fighting the permissions to turn on my camera. I hope we will resolve this soon.
So we are already 70 people. So it's impressive. Thank you for joining, everyone. Okay, so I think, Matt, you can speak and you can share your screen.
Yep, just a moment. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
I can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Then I'll give the word to Victor.
And
I also see your face. So everything is fine. We are ready to go.
Everything is working now. Thank you. Thank you very much for having us today. Okay, we are past the little technical difficulties that we had. So good afternoon, morning, or evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session, where my colleague Matija Lešković and I will take you through the journey we had with our client, where we build a modern headless architecture with Adobe Experience Manager. So Matija, if you please can change to the next slide. Just a very short introduction. Matija Lešković is a subject matter expert at Cyber64. He is AEM Sites and AEM Sites expert for subject matter expert, sorry, for AEM Sites, and he's working as a technical architect on client's project. I'm currently working in the role of director of engineering, but have 10 plus years of experience with Adobe Experience Manager and overall Adobe Experience Cloud solutions. Also, from everything else that I'm doing with Adobe, I'm one of the, I think, oldest AAP participants. So I have experience with AAP from the early release in 2019. So just a little bit about Adobe Experience Manager. So just a little bit about Cyber64. I got a little bit distracted by the technical difficulties. So in short sentence, we are AI marketing and technology agency, and we are recognized as one of the world's fastest growing and most quality-driven agency in Adobe ecosystem. Maybe one fun fact, so not to go over the hard numbers, some of the colleagues that we work with in Cyber64 are in Adobe or AEM area since CQ4, so they have more than 15 years of or 20 years of hands-on platform expertise, and it's very good to be in that group and collaborate with such a great team. Currently, we are Adobe Gold Solution Partner, and we have Experience Manager sites specialization, and we are around or more than 100 experts working mostly from Croatia and servicing clients all over the world. Our offerings and our services can be split in three main categories as we are presenting them. So there are build and implement, optimize and grow, and transform. And we are basically covering the majority of the MarTech process, as well as e-commerce, CRM, and similar areas. Speaking of the Adobe ecosystem, since this is a AEM user group, we are covering entire Experience Cloud and have great projects that are combining different technologies and giving us opportunity to combine different capabilities of different tools into great client implementations. And today we will present something that we built for a client that's also based on Adobe Experience Manager. So just a short introduction about the presentation. We have split it in 6 chapters. Our preference is that we leave the Q&A for the end of the presentation, but if there is some very urgent question, I think everybody can ask the question in the chat. We will try to answer to the questions during the presentation via chat, or after we finish the presentation, we can talk about these questions. So the agenda is split into the overview of the client and project challenges. Then we will try to say something about what we did on the project and what happened during the implementation. We have the architecture overview explaining what are all of the parts that we used in order to build this project and solution. Mattia will explain you the technical concepts and technical topics that are most interesting and that we are most proud of the project. He will go through the challenges and solutions, and we will show you some end results that we achieved together with the client, and how this project benefited the business case they had. So speaking of the client and project challenges, of course, we could start with presentation of this from different angles. But you know how it is with the big brands that have worldwide presence, and they have different entities and websites and other touchpoints with customers that they have to maintain. So this is usually combined with distributed global teams, and we are always getting a sort of a trouble. Here, the specific challenge was also that every product page or every product that our client has, it was added twice in different systems. So there was an SAP holding the data about the products, and also AEM that was presenting the data to the end customers. And this was initially handled in separate places. Some of the other technical challenges that we will cover later are the digital asset management and how the images were delivered and archived in the DAM. There was also a legacy search engine, which was giving a headache to both customer and the end user, because end users were not able to find the products or information they were looking for. And also we were not able to, or the team that was doing the maintenance of the project was not able to index the stuff properly and present it to the end customer. So basically, the platform had no reliable mechanism to handle traffic spikes during peak sales events, which is a common use case for this common situation for such a big systems. And accurate tracking actually required proper setup of analytics tools and consents. Interesting thing about this project is that the client was also spending a significant amount of money for paid advertisement, and we had to combine everything together, do the proper contribution and proper analytics, which was also one of the big challenge of this entire project. I'm sure that during the presentation of Matthew, you will also be able to identify some additional stuff that we tried to solve there. So the architecture overview, that was the architecture that was designed is built on 3 core platforms that are working together. It's basically handled by Adobe Experience Manager, so sites and assets. Then Alokai. This is a solution that was formerly known as View Storefront, which is basically a single page or it's Next.js based storefront, and SAP Commerce Cloud, which was the main e-commerce engine and the system that was supposed to provide the data about the products. If you look at the diagram, here is how the request flow works in general. So a customer hits the site, with geolocation detection enabled from the start. So in front of everything, it's a Cloudflare service that is doing the geolocation mapping of the customer. And that request goes through Cloudflare first, as I said, which handles edge caching, security rules, bot protection, cache control, and everything else. And from there, it reaches Alokai, which is the front-end storefront layer backed by Redis for caching. So Alokai has multiple purposes. It's a storefront, but it also has some sort of, let's say, middleware, where we were able to connect some data from SAP and other systems that we integrated. Then Alokai talks to AEM. It is pulling content assets and localized labels. It also talks to SAP Commerce Cloud for e-commerce data, like products pricing and checkout process. And it also connects to one other main part of this project, which is Algolia for search. AEM here also sends cache refetch flags to Alokai when content changes, so the cache stays fresh without over-invalidating the cache all the time. And every platform in this stack was chosen to solve a specific problem. And nothing is here because it was fashionable or if we just wanted to do a project with this technology. So there was a very big thought behind the selection of the toolset. So we will now go one layer at a time, and Mattia will take you through all of these layers and try to explain the challenges and the solutions that we had for each specific one. So Mattia, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks. Hey everyone, nice seeing you in such a big number here. Yeah, let's, as Victor said, let's start with the technical deep dive for each platform layer. We will start with AEM. So AEM in this architecture operates across three main functions. First one is pages. AEM provides a default layout that acts as a fallback for proxy pages. Editors get full what you see is what you get editing capability, and there is regional override support. So a US editor and a European editor can work on the same page independently without stepping on each other. The DAM asset management. So this is where it gets interesting for a headless setup, because this is indeed, as the title says, headless setup with AEM. The DAM isn't just storing images, it is storing front-end localized labels as content fragments, which are then exported as JSON, and it also holds product and category images with their renditions, also exported as JSON. So AEM's then becomes a structured content delivery layer, not just a file repository. The third stack is translations. So AEM handles multilingual content delivery through a dedicated translation layer. This matters at scale. The client operates across multiple regions and languages, and having translation workflows integrated into the CMS rather than bolted on externally is a significant operational advantage. And yeah, we will come back to the translation piece specifically when we get to the challenges section. Yeah, because solving it in such a headless context required a custom approach that is worth understanding in detail. All right, then the next layer Victor mentioned in the architecture overview is Alokai, which is based on Next.js. So this is the storefront layer. It's built on Next.js and sits between the user and everything else. And we have here 5 key responsibilities. First one is the page router. It serves CMS-driven pages sourced from AEM. That's really important to have. The pages that fall outside of CMS scope, such as checkout, account dashboard, so anything regarding the user sessions, these are handled separately, so the router knows what to fetch from AEM and what to handle independently. The second item is middleware. So this is basically server-side rendering. every request goes through a middleware layer that handles geolocation detection, sets the appropriate locale and language, and routes the request to the correct AEM content path. This is what makes multi-regional content delivery seamless from the user's perspective. The third item we have is the cache manager. So this is the most operationally significant component. It's a Redis first caching layer. So on a cache miss, content is refetched and stored. What's cached covers AEM pages, localized labels, media, and SAP CC API responses. By mentioning the SAP CC API responses, we are excluding here, of course, the user sessions. So anything which isn't dependent on user is stored. Everything isn't stored. Everything else is stored. The cache invalidation mechanism is custom built, also mentioned by Victor. So AEM sends flags to an API endpoint on Alokai, which triggers selective refetching of what's only changed. And this avoids full cache flushes, which would basically destroy the performance benefits as we do cache a lot of stuff on the server side. The fourth item here is the search integration. As already seen in the architecture overview, Alokai connects to the storefront to Algolia. I'll cover what's behind that in the challenges section, but yeah, it's just worth mentioning here in this layer. Also, payment integration, payment provider connectivity is handled within the front-end layer alongside with SAP CC. This is important because this keeps the transactional flow clean, and Alokai orchestrates it, and SAP Commerce owns the order. The next slide is the third core platform. That's the SAP CC. So it owns the commerce backbone. 6 areas worth noting. Again, same approach as previous slides. So SAP handles product catalogs. These are region-separated catalogs. This isn't just a localization convenience. This just ensures correct tax rules, pricing logic, and inventory per location. A US user and, for example, a German user hitting the same product page are served from different catalogs with different rules applied. So basically the same page, everything seems the same on the website, but depending on the region, on the location, end users get different catalogs and different rules applied. The second item here is the category tree. SAP manages the full product category hierarchy. This fits into how Algolia structures its index and how Alokai renders product listing pages. The third item is cart, checkout, and order management. So the full transactional flow lives in SAP. Alokai again does the orchestration on the user experience, so the UX, while the SAP owns the data. The next item is customer accounts. So authentication and account data are managed in SAP CC. This keeps user state centralized in commerce layer. The next item is Solar Search. So this is SAP's native search. It powers product listing pages, search, and filtering. We will again cover a bit more of search in the challenges section. Regarding the broader search experience, this is on Algolia's end, but the listing pages are on Solar. Translations, same as AEM. SAP also supports multilingual content delivery through its own translation layer. And that's complementing AEM's translation capabilities at the commerce layer. Okay. So let's go now challenge by challenge and talk specifically about what we actually built. The first item would be content authoring. So the manual effort users had to do, where we have dual entry workflow. So on every product launch, it required someone to enter the data on SAP and then enter it again in AEM. So no automation, no like shared defaults, and it's an error-prone process. The consequences were predictable. So errors, as I said, from manually re-entry, slow time to publish, and a process that didn't scale across regions without proportionally scaling headcount. So our solution was a proxy page architecture. So rather than requiring editors to build each product page from scratch in AEM, the system pulls product data directly from SAP and applies a smart default layout automatically. The page exists and renders correctly from the moment the product is in SAP. No AEM authoring required unless an editor wants to customize this product details page. So we used AEM's multi-site manager to handle regional content variations without duplication. So when a product page needs regional customization, editors can override specific sections for specific regions without copying and managing separate pages for each market. And yeah, the result, new products do go live faster without any manual effort and with consistent baseline quality across all regions. This is the kind of architectural decision that compounds over time. Yeah, the larger the catalog, the more value it delivers. The next slide is about asset management. So again, from manual processing to full automation. Product images were another straightforward but expensive problem. No optimized rendition meant slow page loads, slow first page loads, and the issue component as the catalog grew. Every new product required someone to manually process and publish its assets, and that was just not sustainable as the catalog kept growing. The solution again was a custom asset exporter combined with an automated scheduled job pipeline. Assets are now ingested, processed, renditions are generated automatically, and these are again published through scheduled jobs. So there is some manual override, of course, available for cases where an editor needs to push something outside the normal schedule. If something has to be ASAP, but otherwise we have a normal schedule. And this eliminated the entire manual processing overhead. The asset pipeline now runs without any intervention. Editors can focus on content decisions rather than the file management. Okay, the next topic is translating a headless storefront, having basically every word on the page translatable. Yeah, this is the one I will spend maybe a bit more time than the previous slides, because for us, and I think in general, this is genuinely non-obvious problem in headless architecture, and the one that most teams don't address properly until it becomes a crisis. In a traditional AEM setup, all your content lives in AEM pages. So AEM's translation workflows covers basically everything. In a headless architecture, that assumption breaks. Large proportions of the storefront exist only as a front-end code. There's no corresponding page in AEM, and that means all the UI labels living in that front-end code, like button text, error messages, filter names, form field labels, any kind of pages that are, in our case, user session connected, such as my account dashboard, checkout. These are completely invisible to AEM's translation workflows. Editors and translators can't touch them, and developer have to handle every translation change, and basically that's the blind spot, because on every label change, every translation change, you would have to basically go through the whole development process and push the changes, which could take time. So yeah, the solution yeah, it's pretty good that we fixed this issue. So we have established a centralized label class on the front end. This is a single location in the code base where every hard-coded UI strings live. And this is basically one source of truth for every label across the entire storefront. We then built a custom AEM ingester that reads from that front-end label dictionary and imports all the labels into AEM in format of content fragments. Once they're in AEM as content fragments, they are fully inside AEM structured content and translation workflow. Editors and translators manage them through the standard AEM interface with no developer involvement required. So basically no wait for developers to push any kind of changes in the content for the translation. Yeah. The end result, every piece of user-facing text, even on pages that don't physically exist in AEM, it's all translatable, editor managed, and delivered at speed. This is one of those solutions that sound really obvious in retrospect, but it requires deliberate architectural thinking to get this right. Yeah, Ken, I have peeked a bit in the chat. Yeah, we are using MSM for the content fragments. Okay. Yeah, let's jump to the next slide, which is search. From legacy search to a unified fast search experience. Yeah, on the old system, the legacy search engine just couldn't keep up with the catalog. Volume and variety were both problems, leading to slow results and poor relevance. Customers couldn't find what they were looking for, which directly impacts conversion. And yeah, the solution was Algolia. We built a unified index that collects content from AEM, assets from the DAM, storefront data from Alokai, and product data from SAP Commerce, and then it's just all in one place. The result is a modern filterable search interface with significantly faster results and far better relevance than the previous system could even achieve. This also removed a backend load concern. Algolia handles search at the edge with region scoped indices, which is really important here. And so search queries don't add pressure to the origin infrastructure. Okay. Yeah. The next one is built to handle peak traffic. Victor mentioned the biggest pain point were the biggest sales days, of course. Traffic spikes during sales events were one of the original failure modes we were told about. The previous platform had no reliable scaling mechanism, which meant Black Friday and similar events consistently caused downtime and emerges in debugging sessions. Yeah, that's a commercial and reputational problem. The solution operates at two levels. So Alokai and SAP Commerce Cloud both provide automatic scaling. So when demand spikes, the storefront and backend services respond dynamically. There's no manual intervention required, no pre-scaling guesswork. Cloudflare operates at the edge, absorbing traffic before it reaches the origin. And this is also where bot attack prevention runs. The client had a documented history of bot attacks that added artificial load and complicated incident response. And yeah, the proof, the platform handled peak load during both Black Friday and Christmas without being even close to any kind of incident. Those are two highest traffic commercial days of the year for that client. And yeah, we had zero downtime on both, so we are very proud of this one. Ken, actually, no, we didn't use the out-of-the-box Algolia components. It's all custom built. Okay, the next slide is semantic search and auto re-ranking. So beyond the baseline search improvement, we went one layer further with Algolia's semantic search capabilities. The original problem with keyword-only search is familiar to anyone who's worked in e-commerce. Users don't search the way product managers write product descriptions. Queries are varied, imprecise, sometimes colloquial. A keyword match fails the moment the phrasing doesn't align exactly with the indexed terminology. And Algolia's semantic search addresses this by understanding intent rather than just matching strings. A user searching for something with varied phrasing gets contextually relevant results and not an empty page. And at the end, the auto re-ranking takes it further. Result is ordering continuously refines itself based on a on a real user interaction. So what user click, what they buy, what they ignore, and over time, this search gets better without anyone manually tuning the relevance rules. It's a system that improves as it's being used. Okay. The next thing before we start wrapping everything up is the Google Analytics and AI reporting. The analytics challenge was about depth, not just setup. The existing tracking covered surface level metrics, leaving key user interactions and business critical conversion events unmonitored. And you can't optimize what you basically can't see. So here we jumped in and solved two things here. First, proper GA4 implementation with event tracking across the key interactions that actually matter for the business. Second, and this is where it gets interesting, we build a custom AI reporting agent to automate performance reporting the end-to-end. The agent itself ingests CRM exports and GA4 analytics data across multiple properties. It processes year-over-year comparisons across those properties automatically, then generates branded executive reports, KPI dashboards, channel breakdowns, analysis, everything without zero manual data entry. What previously took a team member significant time to produce manually is now generated on demand, and the client gets consistent, comparable, accurate reporting without the overhead. And the title says the right architecture drives real business results. So this slide is about stepping back and articulating why the architecture as a whole works, not just as a collection of good individual choices, but as a coherent system. Every platform decision was made to answer a specific client problem. That's not a given. It's in complex multi-platform implementations, it's easy for choices to be made for the wrong reasons. And here the reasoning was clear, I'd say, at every level. The coupled AEM and Alokai setup gives developers full front-end freedom while preserving, again, the what you see is what you get authoring experience that marketing and content teams depend on. These two things are often in tension, and this architecture resolves that tension rather than forcing a compromise. Regional and language support is baked into the foundation at every level. Separate US and Europe content trees in AEM, region scoped SAP CC catalogs, Cloudflare edge caching must be split by region, and it is. The right content reaches the right user consistently. The caching strategy is deliberate about what gets cached and what doesn't. Editorial content and product data are cached because they change infrequently relative to the cost of refetching them, of course. Cart and check-on flows remain real-time because we cannot cache anything user-related. The result is a platform that is fast, editorially agile, cost-efficient at scale, and built to expand into new markets without a rebuild. Yeah, a platform that requires architectural rework every time the business grows is, yeah, liability and not an asset. Okay, we have reached point to wrap up this, and at the end, we'd like to share the results and outcomes. So let's see what actually happened. So we had sales performance. The first major sales event post-launch delivered the best sales performance in the client's website history. Yeah, that's a direct business outcome, not a technical metric. The second thing is automation. The asset pipeline is now fully automated. All manual processing overhead has been eliminated. The team that was spending time on file management can focus on work that actually requires human judgment now. The third item is the multi-regional support. The client's content across multiple regions is now unified under a single manageable platform. Regional teams can operate independently within a consistent structure. And the last one is, we have already mentioned this, but worth mentioning again, the zero downtime, Black Friday, Christmas, the two highest traffic commercial days of the year, both handled without incident. And for a client that had experienced downtime during previous peak events, this is the result that matters most operationally. And yeah, this brings us to the end of the session. I think we have covered the challenges, the architecture, and the specific solutions we have built and the outcomes we have managed to produce. Yeah, Victor and I are happy to go deeper on any of this. So if you have any questions, again, thank you for your attention. And yeah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mattia and Victor, and you also are respecting the timing, so you are on time on the presentation, and indeed we have more than 10 minutes to discuss. So if there is any question, you can ask in the chat. You have also the Q&A available and open. So if no one have any question, I have some question myself. So maybe I can start with some question on my side. It's maybe open question, generic question. But maybe Milan have a question already. Say how much time did it take from the start to publish the website, and how much time did it take to roll out a market? Yeah. So maybe we'll start with a question of Milan.
Yeah, hard to say because it all depends on the author that was previously content authoring this. But you can imagine the difference that was happening. So basically, someone from the SAP, someone from the marketing had to enter this product data first on SAP. Then someone has to transfer this information to someone from the AEM authoring team. Then they would have to author this again on AEM without making any errors, because you have to re-enter all the items in there, such as like description, title, technical documents, everything that matters for real useful PDP. And now you don't have to do anything in AEM. All you have to do in AEM now is if you want to change the layout. So once user or anyone from the SAP enters a new product, it's already live. So as soon as they publish it, it's there. You don't have to wait for the AEM team. So I would say it's the performance is doubled here.
Yep, and I think that the question was maybe more about the project timeline. So I would say that if we take out the design, the whole project was delivered in 9 months, and the rollout was, so we rolled out all of the markets at once. So it was, do you know maybe, Mattia, by heart, what the number of markets?
Not sure. Yeah. I think we have numbers somewhere, but the number of exact markets, I can try to quickly find out.
Yeah, okay.
So there is another question which is, did you leverage SKU to tie the CF in AEM with SAP product details to pull the combination into a single page? Question from Ken.
So yeah, for the product details, we have moved everything that was previously in AEM into SAP. So to exclude any kind of manual effort required in AEM, because we thought that the source of truth had to live in SAP. AEM should only control any additional content in there. So actually, we don't have anything related to the product in content fragments. Everything is handled in Next.js on the server-side rendering. So basically, we are working with slugs in Next.js. When a user opens up, for example, /p/product ID, this is then pulled from SAP. Actually, it's coming from cache because it should be cached already, but it comes from SAP, and all relevant information come from SAP. AEM serves here only in serving the content, any additional content that comes in there, and this is then altered as a classic AEM page. The only thing that we have to worry about is to name that product page the exact SKU from the SAP. Then front-end team knows that this should be overlaid, and then it's shown customly on the PDP. And the second thing AEM exports is the assets. So SAP has no knowledge of any assets for the products. And those we export in JSON format. And then again, we have connected them, every one of them with product ID. And yeah, that's basically, they just have a dictionary with ID, pull the ID, get the asset, and that's it.
I think just to also summarize maybe, so AEM is providing, let's say, a template for a PDP and product-related pages, and the data is then hydratized from from SAP. But what's still living in AEM is the rest of the content. So for instance, sales banners, some promotional material, and also educational materials that are used by the customers and users of the website. So this type of content is still altered inside of AEM.
Okay, so I don't see any more questions, but I have some question. Maybe just want to go back to the translation topic. You mentioned that there is no translation as such stored in the AEM. And maybe the question is related to the SEO and keywords. So there is maybe, I guess, I don't know, the storefront or the e-commerce page is only available if you have a login and you can parse the catalog, or you can access the website and you can parse without to be connected. And my question related to this is, if you don't store any content translation in the AEM, how do you manage SEO and improve keyword and these kind of things?
No, we do store. Again, pages, everything except products is handled in AEM. So any kind of SEO related stuff, it's all in page properties, everything exported. If we have some custom SEO stuff that needs to be pushed to a specific product, then we do create this product page. But by default, we don't have these product pages. So we are working with proxy pages architectural decision here. So if anything has to be custom, it's the classic AEM pages created, page properties, we have SEO props there, we push them. So anything that's not product and category, it all lives in AEM.
Okay, thank you. We still have 5 minutes. I see there's 2 questions, one for Ken and one for Milan. Is AEM serving a page, or Node.js is serving a page?
So I'll try to cover this question as best as possible. So serving a page, not sure what exactly do you mean, but serving AEM is pushing the content but the storefront is Next.js. So the delivery layer is on Next.js, but the headless approach is pulling content from AEM through the model JSONs.
So I would also say here that Vue is a Vue storefront or Alokai. So this tool or this platform is owning the glass of the website of the store, and this is also giving additional benefit. So it's reducing the request toward the AEM where they are not needed, and it's putting less stress on the backend infrastructure, meaning that all of these pages can be cached there directly on the Alokai level for the products, etc., as Mattia explained. And for the SEO properties, they're all pulled from the product details, correct? Only if there is something very specific that would require a different mapping than the standard one that we did. But we still have all of the required SEO properties on the product level.
Thank you. Maybe we have maybe the time for two last question is because there is 3 minutes and I want to be careful on the time to respect the time of everyone. So what is the biggest challenge? And the last one, how do you handle cache and validation across all platforms?
Yeah, the biggest challenge, I would say, hard to pick one from a lot of them, but I would go to the one that I struggled the most with, and that was the since we had a legacy system, so we were creating a new system, but we had to follow the legacy system. This is a huge e-commerce project, and it had a lot of assets. There is like 100K of assets, and the problem was that the assets were not structured. And since in the legacy system every PDP page was manually altered, they had the possibility to manually enter which image is relevant for this product, while in the proxy page architecture we had issues because we had to somehow automatically map these images to the products. This was the biggest for me challenge because I really wanted that the assets were properly named or follow just some kind of a templating, so I could easily understand which asset is for which product, for example. So this was a big challenge to move this. Once we got this sorted out, we had to structure the DAM in proper structure, which follows the product ID naming convention. And once we did that, then it was easy. We created a custom exporter where we exported for every product ID set of images and then exported this to frontend. This was stored in Redis, and then they just basically read a dictionary for images. Then it's straightforward, but I would say this was the biggest challenge.
Excellent. Thank you, Mattia, and thank you, Victor, and thank you, Cyber64, for this event. I hope everyone enjoy to get the feedback of this customer challenge and how they were able to address everything. Thank you, everyone, for attending until now, and I wish you a nice end of the day. And let's keep in touch in the next event. And if you also want to share your experience with AEM, feel free to get in touch with me, and I will be happy to organize a call the same way we did today. That's it. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and talk to you soon later.
See you, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.